Hey everybody, welcome back to another week. It is the week of October 6th. I just had to look at the date because I couldn't remember what it was. I just realized I did not do one of these videos last week, so I am going to do it now for this coming week. And I'm not holding the phone and wiggling all over so we don't have any more people with motion sickness. Thanks for the feedback on that, for those that did that. This week we have an early release on Monday. That schedule means that we will dismiss kids at 1:15, and then the rest of the afternoon is yours for primarily EE work. For those of you that are still working on some things there, remember there are some deadlines coming up soon using the checklist that is on the district EE website. Also, just in general, PLC work will likely align to the work that you're doing for EE, so data collection and so on. On Tuesday after school from 4:30 to 8:30, we've got a huge chance to make some money for our PBIS incentives. This is a huge thing. 4 hours is a long time to get money from Culver's. A lot of people have signed up. I think there's still room for some more. So please come out and help us out and hopefully raise a little bit of money. And then on Thursday, we will be doing some interviews for Katie Ruslin's long-term sub position. So hopefully we can get that filled by the end of the week. All right, last week we had a data retreat that actually, when you hear data retreat, it probably doesn't sound all that fun. We had a great day with a lot of good people. I'm just going to read off who was part of that. Jen Parker, Scott Simeon, Dave Matthews, and Jean Patel kind of representing the departments. Liza, Megan, Julie Bernards, and Jen Parker again representing MSLT. Kevin and Jody representing literacy. We got a couple people in there representing PBIS, and then Bill, Dana, and myself. So it's a really good group of mixed people around the building. We spent the morning with Ann Higgins and Joe Parker looking at district achievement, discipline, and demographic data. And then we took a look at the same things, more refined down to the building level. And then in the afternoon, we had some really good conversation and developed a draft for a school-wide SLO. Frankly, I really like this, and that there's a little bit of something for everyone from an SLO standpoint, from regular ed 5 through 8 through reading through special education and so on. It's wordy right now. We've got a lot of information to sort through, but this is basically what it is. If you can see that, we're going to focus on closing the gaps in some areas, and we figured they all just kind of intertwine. So reading, math, connectedness, and behavior. Those are some of the primary things that we're going to be looking at. We've got a long list of ideas that we put together. The next step is for MSLT to take that long list and put it into something that is manageable for the first school year that we're working towards that officially. So we'll share that out with you very soon in about 3 weeks when we have an MSLT meeting. Thanks. All right, and next up, I mentioned MSLT a lot. We do have our new MSL team prepared and ready to go. Their charge for the year, frankly, is to work towards that goal that I just shared with you, to help us get input and disseminate information back out to the building and figure out the systems that we're going to have in place to make sure that things are happening and where we put in our resources to make sure those things can happen. So without further ado, this is our MSLT team this year. To take a look at, well, it should be on your left side. On the camera, everything's backwards. Jen Parker, Liza, Julie, Megan Thayer, Bill Hipsch, and myself are returning MSLT members. We've got some awesome people coming on board with Amy Kopensteiner, Aaron Sipe, Joey Tepfer, Mary Jo Palmer, and Dana Braille. So we've got a really good group, again, that kind of represent all 4 of those pieces with math, reading, behavior, and connectedness. So we're really looking forward to ironing that out, and we'll get that information to you. All right, culture, way back in August, seems like so long ago, and it's just kind of the beginning of October right now. Those culture themes, and we had everybody put all that information down. I've got all of that prepared. It's been rough going trying to get out to team meetings or grade level meetings. I want to get that in this week, just doing some behavior things here in the office. So I want to share out what kind of the top 4 themes were, and we pulled all that information from those 20 pages of notes. please keep in mind there are a lot of other pieces in here, but these were the ones that had the most check marks when I went through and looked for the commonalities. So here are the major themes. Stick with my orange paper here. The first one is admin, visibility, consistency, and leadership. The second one is clear and consistent communication. The third one is consistent discipline. And the fourth one is time to talk about issues outside of things that we need to talk about with EE and so on and so forth. That was a pretty common theme from that day in August. So with those, the next step, like I said, is to meet with teams and grade levels, have a conversation about, so what does that really mean? You know, that first one, admin, visibility, consistency, and leadership, that's pretty broad. So what are kind of the key things that frankly Bill and Dana and myself can focus on this year, that you can help us be accountable to that with some input and so on. So that's our next step, is to get that more detailed information from you. Then the three of us will be putting together our action plan, and these are the things we're going to commit to. And here's how you're going to assess us as we go through the year. So we really want to work on that. And then once we get all that going here in the next few weeks, Drew Howick will be coming back to our November staff meeting, and he's going to take us to the next step. At first, we've really been kind of focusing on just kind of internally, what am I working on? What are we trying to do to change some of the things that we heard on August 27th? The next step is for Drew to help facilitate a conversation about how do we, all of us in the building, work together to make sure that this is the best place it can be for all of us, whether we're students, staff, and so on. So looking forward to that, but please take note that that staff meeting in November will go long. So if you are a person that generally needs to sneak out at about 4 o'clock, if at all possible, make plans to stay till about 4:30. We will likely trade off that staff meeting with another meeting after school that month, like the Norski time or the PLC meeting for the second staff meeting of the month. So I'll talk to you more about that soon. All right, and last but not least, I realize this, I think we're at about 7 minutes right now in this video, so I am going to cut this off. Y'all filled out that survey with PLC meeting times. Thank you to Maria Marcus. She put together a Google Calendar with everybody's PLC meeting times. So I've got that up on my calendar now. So starting this week, Bill and Dana and I will try to stop into some PLC meetings, just check in, ask you what help you need from us, and help you move forward. So that's it for this week in the news. We'll see you in the hallways.